It's another snowy day outside, so I'm taking today to look at stats and data for the month of November for the City of FDL single-family home housing market. So the first thing I want to talk about is the Fed just had their meeting. They did their cut as expected, and then this is not a direct cut to our mortgage interest rates, but it influences it. Those had already been priced into the market, and we are expecting to continue to see around low sixes for rates right now and for the foreseeable future. So looking at November data, something that was really interesting was only 25 houses sold. And this is abnormally low. So if you go back the past few years, even when we've had such low inventory, so last year 39 sold in November, the year before that 35, the year before that 35. So 25 is a pretty small number of houses selling. The last time we had this happen was in January of this year, so more of those winter, slower months, but still lower than in the past this time of year, looking at November closings. When we look at those 25 houses that sold in the City of FDL, 32% of them sold under asking price, 28% sold at asking price, and 40% sold over asking price. And of that 40% that sold over asking price, 90% of those were 1 to 11K over. So not as many of the crazies going 15, 20, 25 over. Really, it was pretty much all of them in that 1K to 11K over. So if you're wondering how much to offer over or what to expect when going over, but again, only 40% were over. The 200s and the 100s were the price point that saw the most selling at or above. And then the 300s plus were the ones that saw the most price reductions. So whether you're purchasing or listing your house, knowing that about the price points can help give you some realistic expectations. And then overall, 44% of those houses that sold in November took a price reduction. And we haven't seen this high amount since March of this year. And this is actually over double last month. So definitely seen more price reductions. The median home price for the month of November was $212K. And if you are wondering what a median price home here is at that $212K mark, 528 Russell Street in the City of FDL sold for $212K. So you are able to look that up and see it. It is a 3-bed, 1-bath, 1-car garage, just under 1,500 square feet. Has a little bit of finished basement space as well that's not in that square footage. 1940s build. It's updated. It has a sizable city lot. So again, just to give you an idea of what a median home here in the City of FDL looks like and goes for, and we've continued to stay in that low 200s, ranging from 212, 230, just in that low 200s. When it comes to time to accept an offer, this is another area that we're seeing some shifting and changing. So accepting an offer in around 1 week's time was about that 50-ish% mark, around there. So that means 50% of houses were taking longer than a week's time. And I've also often talked about a month or less, whether it's 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month and 5 days, around that 1 month or less time. And that was 72% of houses, which is still great. That's almost 3/4. But April to October of this year, that held around the 90% mark. And now we've dropped to 72%. So that's pretty significant. And that's showing that there's a chunk of properties that are taking longer than that 1 month. And right now it's around a quarter of houses that are taking longer than that 1 month to accept an offer. So again, setting realistic expectations. So if you get lucky, but not just get lucky, price your house right, prep it for sale, you could be in that 50% that goes in a week. But to get within that month's time, that's still important, 3/4. But if you don't do those things, or you're a very unique property, you might end up in that other 25-ish% that's going to take longer than a month to sell. When we look at our inventory, it's around the mid 80s. So there is no inventory spike again. That has not occurred. It's been around 90 since May, and when I pulled it today, it was 85. So historically, just looking back, again, like the past 3 years, which has been historically low inventory anyways, it's been in the 80 to 90 range, so nothing abnormally weird or different. And it's also important to know that we do have a trend continuing, though, that I think we're going to see play out, which we already saw some this month, that we have more available houses than under contract. So again, what that means is available, active, no offer, anybody can go for it. 56% of the houses on the market, and then 44% of them have accepted offers. So it's just like, where does that balance? So this is very similar to last month, which is why I'm saying the trend continues, and how that could play out again is some longer days on market or longer time to accept an offer, which we started to see a little bit in the data this month from some of last month's switchover. So enjoy your snow day, stay safe, stay warm. I know this December has been snowier and colder than it's been in years. So that could also impact the market as well if this keeps up, and this is what December and January and February and March look like. So we'll see. I'm Bethany Warnches with Addison Jones, and thanks for joining me today.